Okay, friends, I did the article on elephant, but I got a new puppy, and here he is. He's in his crate, which we've made friends with very patiently and very slowly. And his name is Winfield, which is kind of a temporary tentative name, but I think we're liking it. Winnie for sure. And as you can see, he's kind of happy in there and doing his thing. And yeah, it's beautiful. Maybe he'll come around and show his face. But I guess I wanted to tell a story or two about meeting Winfield and how that happened. So my name is Waylon, and my dog Redford, who I had for 14, almost 15 years, died a year ago. And it's taken a long time, kind of surprisingly. I loved Redford. I wasn't surprised that I was sad, but I was surprised that it took, it's been a year. Um, and I really haven't felt ready, and I've really been sad. And really sad. Look at this guy. Can you see him? He's got like yellow copper eyes. It's kind of unbelievable. So I did ayahuasca, which is now legal in Colorado, thanks to people voting and caring on Friday. And I did it with this fellow who I interviewed a few months ago on Walk the Talk Show and our podcast and video series. So you can check that out if you're curious. And he is from a tribe, the Huni Queen in North Brazil. And, had a lot of integrity, and I hit it off or connected with him and Tue and with his sort of right-hand woman, Ari, who also plays music during the ceremonies. And, I haven't been super bold or curious about things like ayahuasca. I'm Buddhist, and that's been my path. And I'm very content with meditation and Dharma and studying. And so anyway, I went for it because I knew the people organizing it and I knew Tue and I had a lot of trust. Yes, Winnie is a cutie. And uh, so I did this ceremony just Friday and you stay up all night. And um, I cried for hours and hours and hours. I wasn't really expecting that. I didn't throw up. A lot of people throw up when they pr- um, enter the ayahuasca or mother ayahuasca path. I don't really quite know how to talk about it properly, but um, I didn't feel good. And then after I didn't feel good, my heart opened up a lot and I was able to kind of look at all of my life with a lot of very naked, open, raw love. And that love came in the form of Redford, my dog who died, and then my ex fiance, and just looking at their faces and feeling their presence in my life and just crying for hours and hours. That was my experience. And I can't say it was joyful. A lot of people talk about joy in ayahuasca, but it was certainly love. And it was just pure love. It was able to sort of look at their face and they looked at mine and just miss them. So then, the next day, as instructed, I ate lightly and journaled and was in nature and biked and actually heard some fiddle music that I put up on Elephant and St. Patty's fiddle gathering with some dear friends. And I got a good night's sleep finally, because in ayahuasca, you don't sleep all night, basically. And then the next morning, I went to brunch at Leaf Vegetarian Restaurant. I'm vegan and really enjoyed it. Hung out with a friend and his babies, and his wife came and joined. And then I walked a block up after that, and there was Soul Dog Rescue was having a live rescue event. And um, with like 20 puppies and some older dogs. And they rescue dogs from the Navajo and other reservations around the Four Corners, where Colorado and Wyoming and Utah and help me out here all meet. And, I felt really, really sad. As I said, I was crying a lot. And I've been really sad missing Redford, my old dog, um, for a long time. And I hadn't felt ready to rescue again, which surprised me. I felt like, I love dogs and I have a great home and I'm active. social in Redford. My old dog had the best life ever, just super active and social and happy and, never left alone. He got to sort of bike and run around with me all the time, but I hadn't felt ready. And anyway, I fell in love with this guy, who's now named Winfield, but I wasn't ready. So I left and, they said I had to go to Fort Lupton, which is far away. I don't have a car, I just bike. And that doesn't work. So I went and visited my dear friend Ryan. I talked about this dog actually a bit, went back downtown, met my friend Daniel. I wrote about all this on Elephant. And after walking his aged dog, Kaya, who used to be friends with my dog, Redford, we went back. Daniel was like, "Oh, yeah, let's go check out this puppy event, rescue event that you were talking about." So we went back. Arizona. Thank you. I'm grateful. So, yeah, the Four Corners. So, the little Winfield comes from the Navajo reservation there. And we went back to the rescue event with Soul Dog Rescue. Please follow them on Instagram. They're doing wonderful work, or Facebook, or you can go to their own site. You can donate if you'd like. And Daniel kind of encouraged me, and I wasn't really into it. I was like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not going to do this. But we went for a walk with Winnie, and before you know it, I was beginning to sort of consider it. Like a little part of my mind and heart opened up, just a little, but not much. But a little bit. And Daniel was kind of like saying, I feel this, he wasn't interested in our treats. He was interested in being near his family at first. And Daniel said something that really hit home. He said, he's not food oriented. He's love oriented, something like that. And we got back. And when Daniel's wife, Leticia, another good friend, arrived, she was like, you're doing this. You're adopting this dog. This is happening. And Daniel was kind of saying the same thing and started just happening. And with their help, they drove him in their Tesla up to my car. To my house. Cause again, I don't have a car. I adopted him. My neighbors took care of him for a while. He's now falling asleep. And I have a new dog in my life. So if you go to elephantjournal.com, you can read about him. You can see photos, but it was very interesting. I wanted to tell about the ayahuasca in more detail, but I can do a separate video on that. But basically the timing with winter into spring, today's the first day of spring, March 20th, and the timing with me really taking my time, being patient, not rushing into adoption, really taking time to grieve. And this is where I have to put in a plug for going vegan because, we kind of obsess about pets, but then we murder and torture animals all the time. So hopefully our love for dogs and our love for cats and all that can extend to love for all animals and all sentient beings. And yeah, I am certainly food motivated. So, and love motivated. And this guy just devoured his dinner. So I think he's both as well. And those are good people, food and love motivated. So let's keep the love in food and try to be vegan, or at least think about it, or at least do it a little more. At least learn about the effects of not being vegan on our dear animal friends. And they are dear animal friends. So I've got Winfield now. I think that's his name. Winnie, like Winnie the Pooh for short. And we're getting along well. He's a professionally cuddler. He's going to get out of his crate training and cuddle with me all night tonight. I'm done working, which is now. So I am also doing this video. It's probably a weird effect. On can you see the video? There we go. On Union, which is our new home for our videos. So I hope this was still direct and personal, and I send love to all of you. Please go to Elephant Journal, check out the article with photos about Winfield. And I hope this very personal story was interesting or illuminating, or you connected in some way. It was incredibly emotional for me I had a lot of loss last year and a lot of grief, and I think some depression and some giving up. And I think in the ayahuasca, after those hours of crying and crying and love and crying and crying, I was left with a question, which was not hopeful, not inspiring, but it was real. And that question was, Why would I love again? Why would I open my heart up again when I've lost so much? When you love, you risk losing. So I might end with that C.S. Lewis quote if I can find it quickly. Why are we always in a rush for everything? Social media. I'll try to find it quickly. Yeah, here it is. And this quote really came to mind again and again. C.S. Lewis, author of the witch, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and all that. Good friends with Tolkien. Thank you. All right, here's the quote. And this quote basically came to mind doing the ayahuasca, but I couldn't remember the full quote, so I looked it up afterward. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything, and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one, not even an animal. Wrap it carefully round with hobbies and little luxuries. Avoid all entanglements. Lock it up safe in the casket or coffin of your selfishness. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, irredeemable. To love is to be vulnerable. Makes me want to cry. If you want to make sure of keeping your heart intact, you must give it to no one, not even an animal. So we're back to being vulnerable and back to loving, giving it the old college try yet again. So big love to all of you. And I hope you read the article and you keep independent media alive when you do so. Thank you.